We are live from the garage. Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a trigger warning kind of show. So I do want to say that, let me pull them up here. Here we go. All right. This may have some heavy material and may trigger you. If you need a break, please, please, please take one and come back if you're able. I care about your mental health. We do here. Okay. So please, please, please. Also chat rules, guys. No homophobia. It's the month of Pride. Let's keep it prideful. No hate chats, no bullying, no politics. And please respect what Nora has to say, or you can keep scrolling. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. All right. So now that we've got those things out of the way here, let's get going. So for those of you who didn't see Erin's brilliant stream about Whitney Mills a few days ago, I want to go over that. Whitney Mills was a Scientologist who took her own life. She unalived herself. And I just want to go over this article from The Independent with you guys. Okay, so let me start sharing things. We got a bit to go over here. And I am taking off in a bit today to do something fun with my bestie, Liz Gale. So here we go. Let's start off here. So this is the article from The Independent. Okay. And this is what it says here. All right. Family says Scientology officials, pardon me, prevented woman from seeking mental health treatment before she took her life. The lawsuit claims Mills requested a special auditing session to prepare her spirit to drop her body. Now, there's a lot of controversy behind this particular claim, saying there's no such thing as an assist to drop the body. I have seen it performed in real life. I've been witness to it. So it is, yeah. Let's take a gander here at this news statement here.
Only tonight at 10, several properties in downtown Clearwater are now in the hands of Scientology members. And while many of them are vacant, it comes at a time when the city aggressively works to revitalize the downtown area. Fox 13's Jordan Bowen spoke to Clearwater's mayor for us tonight, and he joins us now in the newsroom. Jordan, what do you have to say?
Well, Allie, the most recent purchases made by LLCs associated with the church include 8 properties worth a combined $57 million. One of the buildings is currently being leased by the city and actually houses the city of Clearwater's government office.
So the city of Clearwater is leasing the building where they house their government offices from whom? From Scientology. But there's no corruption or anything, guys. None. They're not beholden to Scientology in any way, shape, or form. They just pay rent to them every month.
Mayor Bruce Rector is hopeful the city's relationship with the church improves so they can work together and revitalize downtown. This 11-story office building, known as One Clearwater Tower, is among the latest properties in downtown Clearwater sold to LLCs associated with the Church of Scientology. It's part of a trend that's been going on for years. Since 2017, entities tied to the Church of Scientology have bought 200-some properties in and around downtown, broadening the church's control over what comes into the area.
Clearwater citizens want to see a balance downtown Clearwater.
So the citizens want to see a balance. They don't want Scientology owning everything, yet they keep allowing these real estate scams to happen under their nose. The Church of Scientology almost owns every building in downtown Clearwater now, guys. It's insane.
Something other than just Scientology. So That's our goal, is to create that balance. That's what our citizens want us to do.
As Clearwater Mayor Bruce Rector explains, they're hoping to create that balance by building off the momentum from growing areas like Coachman Park, which has seen more than 120,000 visitors since it opened last year. The area includes an amphitheater, splash pad, pavilions, picnic tables, and an area for farmers markets. However, just down the street, vacant storefronts like these have sat empty for years after being bought by entities associated with the church. The mayor would like to see...
Okay. I'm showing you guys this because this is just, I want a demonstration of Scientology's power in the city where she lost her life. Okay.
Businesses fill the vacancies, but companies associated with the church ultimately have the upper hand on what comes into the empty spaces.
We need to work on our relationship with Scientology for sure, and find solutions to getting those vacant buildings activated.
When it comes to bringing in business, Mayor Rector says he would like to see some sort of entertainment complex with dining, something that would attract tourists from the beach to downtown.
We really look to kind of capture the same vibe, the same kind of reputation that they've achieved in downtown Tampa and downtown St. Petersburg, and that's a mix of those different things.
We did reach out to the new property owners and the Church of Scientology for comment on the latest purchases and also to see what could be coming into those buildings. We're still waiting to hear back.
Yeah, you're never going to hear back there, bro. Like, they're never going to get back to you. They're not going to tell you what they're doing there. They're in charge. They're in charge. Okay. All right. So here's the article. The Church of Scientology prevented a woman from seeking mental health treatment before she took her own life, a lawsuit states. The woman, Whitney Mills, age 40, was a high-level Scientologist who worked as a real estate agent before her 2022 death, her mother, Leila Mills, said in the lawsuit. My question is, how many of these real estate purchases was Whitney facilitating? And then was she demanded by the church to fork over her commission as part of these completely shady deals? Right? Because real estate agents, if they're good, Whitney was, you know, a good-looking woman who probably knew her stuff, right? If she's a successful real estate agent, then she made a lot in commissions. How much of that did they have access to? Were they using her as an insider to gain, information about these properties and put pressure on people in a way that was completely illegal? My guess is yes. There's a lot of reasons that people get to the point of unaliving themselves. I know, because I got to that point in Scientology, and I attempted to do that. So if she was a success in the outside world and Scientology was not only warping her brain about herself, but also demanding that she do unethical things in her profession in order to benefit them, then that is a massive recipe towards unaliving. Okay. So Mills had been battling with her mental health and twice had to be hospitalized. Before her death, Mills experienced insomnia, anxiety, and an increased heart rate, according to the lawsuit. The suit alleges church officials failed to prevent her death while she was under their supervision. A spokesperson for the Church of Scientology told the Tampa Bay Times that while Mills' death was an unfortunate tragedy, the church never assumed her care. So they are just going to wipe their hands of this whole thing. Right. Church policy is crystal clear. If a Scientologist is in need of medical care, he or she must see a medical doctor, the spokesperson told the paper. And any and all decisions regarding medical treatment are solely the decision of the individual. The church does not provide medical advice. Now, this part of the statement right here, the church does not provide medical advice. That is correct. They do not. Everything else here is BS. Any decisions regarding medical treatment are the sole decision of the individual. False. they tell you straight up. If she was telling them that I am struggling, I'm having these thoughts, they would just put her in session. They would not allow her to go to a mental health facility or an actual MD, because they refer to MDs as medicos. Okay. And they are considered all quacks who want to just put people on drugs, who want to just, lobotomize people with pills or an ice pick, including just regular medical doctors. Okay. Under the picture here, it says Whitney Mills, a member of the Church of Scientology in Clearwater, Florida, died by suicide in 2022. Now her family is suing the church in a wrongful death lawsuit, claiming the church prevented her from seeking mental health. Okay. The lawsuit filed by Leela Mills on May 11th in Florida's Pinellas County Circuit Court claims that in February of 2022, members of Scientology staffing organization, Sea Org, were assigned to live with Mills at her apartment in downtown Clearwater, Florida, and to give her 24-hour monitoring. Okay, so she was under 24-hour watch by Sea Org members. I've been there. Right? I've been there. Sea Org members were watching a public 24 hours a day. There's a 0% chance of them assigning Sea Org members to go sit in an apartment all day and all night with a person unless the church was well aware that she could self-harm. And they were doing everything that they could to avoid that by watching her and probably pumping her full of vitamins and other bullshit. Okay. The lawsuit includes emails between Mills and Sea Org staff in which she discusses her symptoms, which include anxiety and extreme pressure in her head. She also said she felt her condition was worsening. These are her words. It's causing me to feel like I'm dying and causing me psychosis, anxiety, panicking. I'm getting intrusive bad thoughts. An email sent by Mills on March 12, 2022. A Scientologist doctor, David Minkoff, where have we heard that name before? Had been tasked with treating Mills, and he allegedly misdiagnosed her with suffering from Lyme disease and cancer, and ignored her very real psychosis and mental health, according to the lawsuit. So guys, let's just, I'm going to not share this right now. I'm going to pull up another thing here. So let's go over a couple things here, okay? Because I think it's important to refresh our memory here. So let's just go over Lyme disease, okay? It's a bacterial infection spread to humans through the bite of an infected black-legged tick, also known as a deer tick. The bacteria that causes Lyme disease is called Borrelia burgdorferi. Immature deer ticks called nymphs are the most common carriers of the bacteria, picking it up from feeding on infected small rodents. Okay, so the symptoms, it is treatable by a medical professional, requires medical diagnosis, lab tests, right? So let's go to the CDC, because that's a good reference here, right? So let's learn some more here. We already know about the ticks. Symptoms include fever, headache, fatigue, and characteristic skin rash called erythema migrans. Okay, let's just look at that like this. It looks like a bullet, guys. It looks like a bullet. That is what that skin rash looks like. Okay, when you get bit by a nasty tick. Okay. Oh, there you go. Now you guys are seeing it. Okay, it looks like this, like that, like that. That is that. Okay. So Lyme disease is diagnosed based on symptoms, physical findings, for example, a rash, and the possibility of exposure to infected ticks. Laboratory testing is helpful if used correctly and performed with FDA-cleared tests. Most cases of Lyme disease can be treated successfully within a few weeks of antibiotics. Now, let's go to, oh, God, that man is frightening. Okay, so this is LifeWorks, but that's Dr. David Minkoff. Okay. And here's their LifeWorks Center conditions. Let's go to see how they treat Lyme disease here at Dr. Minkoff's office. All right. You can make a full recovery from Lyme disease with our powerful all-natural treatment program. Does that sound like antibiotics? Does that sound like, no, I don't want to achieve better health with you, you disgusting freakazoids. All right. So according to the CDC, there are more than 300,000 Lyme infections that occur each year. Blah, 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 blah. They give some, they keep like tagging the CDC. However, you know, we agree with the CDC. Here we go. We agree with the CDC report that prolonged antibiotic therapy lacks proof of effectiveness and is potentially deadly. That's not what we just read on the CDC site, is it? That's not what we read. Okay. No, I do not want to come and see you, quackonomics. Okay. So we agree with the CDC report that many unqualified practitioners are treating Lyme disease with unconventional methods, raising the risk that patients could have adverse outcomes. Adverse outcomes, like death. Like death. Really? Bridge 1872. Last year, my sister was referred to Dr. Minkoff by a dentist, and she, along with everyone in that natural office, was diagnosed with Lyme's disease. You can't, guys, you can't, if you haven't ever been bit by a tick, which I have, and in reading this, I thought, actually, I might have that. I got a tick once, guys, in my belly button when I was a kid, and I had that bullseye pattern, but it was the 80s. It was before Lyme's was known. Yeah. Fun times. Fun times. Don't ever get a tick in your belly button. Yeah. So here we go. These are their claims here. We are one of the top Lyme disease treatment clinics in the world. We specialize in late-stage Lyme disease for treatment over 23 years. Dr. Minkoff is an infectious disease doctor who oversees all Lyme treatment programs using safe and highly effective science-based approach to help patients overcome Lyme disease. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Talking about the deer ticks. Some people will experience a bullseye rash. Correct. Flu-like symptoms. Conventional doctors are often perplexed by the striking range of symptoms leading to severe misdiagnosis. Patients are often brushed off as hypochondriacs or having mental illness. Uh-oh. Can't have mental illness because that's not real for Dr. Minkoff. Mental illness does not exist. Right? Flu-like symptoms, joint pain, unexplained symptoms, brain fog, malaise, fatigue, dizziness, aches and pains, headaches, anxiety, mood swings, depression, abdominal pains, nausea, diarrhea, sleep disturbances, stiff neck. In some cases, untreated infection resulting from Lyme disease may result in inflammation of the membrane surrounding the brain, meningitis, temporary paralysis on one side, Bell's palsy, and weakness, numbness, tingling, shooting pains, burning different parts of the body or limbs. Many patients are startled to discover their poor health is the result of having Lyme disease. Okay, so here's their test. Many of the patients we've seen already been tested until they didn't have it. They went to an actual doctor. They got the tests. And the tests from their doctor said they didn't have, right? And when we retest the individuals with our extremely sensitive Lyme test, almost all cases are confirmed to be infected with Lyme. This is due to the sensitivity of the Lyme test we use. What is this test? Does Dr. Minkoff just lick them? and be like, yep, I'm tasting lime. Tasting lime here. Definitely Lyme's disease. So they received the correct treatment. These are all people with their testimonials. Look at me. It doesn't say what the treatment is. Get Lyme disease help. Here's Minkoff talking about Lyme disease. These are all people who have provided testimonials. Okay. So they're doing extracorporeal blood oxygenation and ozonization therapy. IV therapy to boost your immune system. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Oh, these are just, yeah. What? None of this sounds like antibiotics. UVBI, ultraviolet blood irradiation therapy. What in the fuck is that? Ozone steam sauna. Hyperthermic ozone and carbonic acid transdermal technology. What? And other ozone therapies. Ozone is found in its natural state in higher levels of the atmosphere. Yeah, that's where it belongs. It's blue in color, hence the sky is blue. In medical use, what? They're injecting people with this? What is this? In medical use, ozone is made by passing pure oxygen through an electric coil, which gives it 3 atoms instead of 2, making O3. That's not how you write that, but that's okay. It is the addition of the 3rd oxygen atom that makes ozone supercharged oxygen and gives it all of its remarkable properties. What the fuck? Guys. So prolozone ozone treatment is a word that I think they made up, derived from prole, which means to regenerate or rebuild, and the word ozone. Prolozone uses the power of oxygen to cause damaged tissues, joints, ligaments, and tendons to regenerate. It's injected directly into the site where the weakened ligament attaches to the bone. Then the area is infiltrated with ozone, giving the tissues what they need to heal. The response to treatment varies from person to person, but most people only need 3 to 5 treatments. Just 3 to 5. 3 to 5. 3 to 5 treatments. Look at all these things. It just heals everything. Just heals heals it all. Chi-zone ozone treatment. You got to get that chelation therapy first. Oh, tropical ozone treatment, because, you know, who doesn't like a pina colada in their body? The hand, arm, foot, or leg is put in a plastic bag and the bag is sealed. Ozone is run into the bag via a tube for approximately 50 minutes and is absorbed through the skin. Ozone has strong disinfectant properties, making this form of treatment particularly useful for treating wounds and skin infections. How about some fucking Neosporin? How about that? Like, even if you want to think that, oh, this is natural, this is what ancient healers did. How the fuck did an ancient healer get ozone to treat somebody? Did they just catapult them into the atmosphere and be like, okay, take 5 deep breaths while you're up there, and we'll try and catch you on the way down? What the actual F is going on? This is crazy doodles, guys. This is bonker doodles. So this fucking Bajumba treated her for Lyme disease. We haven't even gotten to what they do for cancer. I don't even know if I can read all this nonsense. Let's see how they treat cancer. Alternative cancer treatment. Anyone facing cancer diagnosis knows the fear and uncertainty. Yep. Okay, integrative cancer treatment. We aggressively treat cancer using powerful integrative therapies. Our comprehensive integrative oncology approach encompasses a whole body approach and will aggressively attack the cancer using a lab-based approach to determine which forms of treatment will be most effective against your particular cancer cells, address the underlying causes that set the stage for cancer in the first place, boost and balance your body's innate immune system, which is designed to protect and defend you from cancer, and repair your cellular energy production systems to unlock your body's robust healing capabilities. Okay. Our whole body approach does not exclude using traditional cancer therapies. However, it has the advantage of also using the latest natural, holistic, nutritional, and whole body approaches, which makes any treatments easier on the body and potentially more effective. So you want to eliminate any toxic substances lodged within the system, supercharge your body's most powerful defense, your immune system. Okay, so they have all of these different cancers they're going to list there. They never said, pardon me, what kind of cancer she had. So you're going to, identify here the pathogens, immune system deficiencies, past, present toxic exposures, nutritional deficiencies, customize a cancer protocol, powerful cancer therapies, immune boosting plan, detoxification plan, a nutritional diet plan. Okay. So that's a stage 4 cancer success story from this guy here. Get cancer help today. So IPT, I don't know what that is. What is IPT? There we go. Insulin potentiation therapy is an effective alternative cancer treatment. It uses a combination of 2 traditional drugs, insulin and chemotherapy drug. Some decades ago, it was discovered that cancer cells had highly active insulin receptors, making them sugar hungry. It was further discovered that cancerous cells would take up a lot more chemotherapy medication if they were given insulin first. This discovery opened a door. So they're pumping someone who isn't a diabetic based on some theory that has not been proven out in any scientific arena, that they're going to pump you full of insulin to prep the cancer cells to be like, yes, please give me chemo. Yes. And then the chemotherapy drug is actually what kills the cancer cells, but the insulin makes the cancerous cell absorb much more of the targeted medication. With what science are they basing this on? Like, you cannot just give random people who are not diabetic, who are not having a diabetic incident, fucking insulin. This is just nuts. And that's just one of the therapies. So let's suppose, okay, for a minute, that Whitney Mills, who, according to the lawsuit, let's go back to the lawsuit in the article here, was diagnosed with both cancer and Lyme's disease. Okay. So I realized I wasn't showing you guys that last page. I apologize. I have to put it up here. So this is from their website. This is this BS treatment, right? Yeah, this is nuts. This is the immune thing. So according to this, you're given insulin. They don't say how much. Okay. And then you're given actual chemo drugs. Okay. Due to the dramatically increased absorption of the chemotherapy drug, this makes it possible and necessary to reduce the amount of chemotherapy needed. Reducing the amount of chemotherapy entering the entire body leads to far fewer and much less severe side effects to the chemotherapy. Now, chemotherapy is extremely brutal. Okay. Thank you, Catherine. So they said they're claiming she had ovarian cancer, but autopsy said it wasn't a malignant tumor. I'm just steadying myself because my anger is rising. So this woman could have been receiving this therapy, which, as we're discussing here, that's possible. He and Chris Shelton could have gotten degrees together. Actually, he's much older than Chris. So, all right. Sorry, I just had to put that extremely snarky, inappropriate comment up because it made me chuckle in the out louds. So let's say she was getting the treatment for Lyme's disease, which is all this ozone nonsense, crazy, coupled with an overload of insulin. She's not a diagnosed diabetic, and unnecessary chemo drugs. And then she's writing to Scientology, right? She's writing to Scientology, talking about the treatment she's receiving, okay? And in her own words, it causes me to feel like I'm dying and causes me psychosis, anxiety, panicking. I'm getting intrusive bad thoughts. These treatments that she was receiving from Dr. Quackenbush were driving her physically down the hill and mentally insane. Okay. So instead of recommending mental health treatments, Minkoff allegedly prescribed her a $20,000 anti-parasitic. Because, you know, you got to flush the toxins out. Flush the toxins out. Mills reportedly begged the doctor for anything else to treat her, but he allegedly responded with quackery, according to the lawsuit. Yeah. Of course he did. The Independent has reached out to Minkoff for comment. Minkoff was not named in the lawsuit. He absolutely should be, but a Miami-based law firm representing Mills' estate put him on notice, which is required by law before a medical malpractice suit is filed against the doctor. Yeah, they better. I hope they do file medical malpractice. She texted one of her Sea Org caretakers. They were not caretakers. They were fucking security watching her on May 1st, 2022, that she literally can't take another day of this horrific movie I'm living. Now, let me just express to you, to get to the point where you are able to put that sentence together and text it, knowing that that's going to be reported, you're going to be checked for 3 bajillion years. And to say that to a Sea Org member, as a public or a staff member, this is the absolute fucking end. Because there's no going back from that. Once you say to people, I'm going to unalive myself, I feel like I should be dead, all of these other things, there's no coming back from that. You have opened a Pandora's box of pure hate, disgust, dissolution, disconnection, everything on yourself. But she was still trying to get help. Even in this dark moment, she was reaching out for help. Okay. The lawsuit seeks to establish that Mills was suicidal based on a request she made to receive Scientology rite that prepared the body spirit, or Thetan in Scientological terms, for its exit from the body. On April 20th, 2022, Mills reportedly asked a caretaker to oversee an auditing session to help her drop the body, and noted that she had learned about the practice from another caretaker. So she's telling them, I can't take this anymore. This is a living nightmare, you know. And so one of the people on watch with her is like, well, you know, if it's time for you to drop the body, there is a assist that you can get that will, you know, prepare you to, you know, you can just leave willingly. Just go. Yeah. We can hook you up with that. We can help a girl out. Like, what? Now, The suit claims that after making this request in April, Mills caretakers, the security 24-hour watch, either intentionally or negligently left her alone for several hours on May 12th. Mills died by suicide that day. The spokesperson for the Church of Scientology told the Tampa Bay Times that there is no right in Scientology to prepare a body for death. False. But a former Sea Org member who administered auditing sessions told the paper that not only did the right exist, but that it was created by founder L. Ron Hubbard himself. If she was asking for it, she clearly wanted to die, said the former Scientologist Bruce Hines. Yeah, Bruce would know. He was a senior CS for many, many years. There is no debate. We all know about this fakakta right. The lawsuit by Layla Mills claims it was a church aversion to modern mental health treatment that prevented her from obtaining, oh, there's a typo here in your article, The Independent, her from obtaining the exact treatment Mills needed. Minkoff had a duty of care to refer Mills to a mental health professional, even if his religious beliefs forbade it. Correct. He's a doctor. There's no universe where he wasn't supposed to send her to a hospital to get the appropriate help. The family claims because the Church of Scientology assumed the responsibility to care for Mills, it bears the responsibility for her death. The lawsuit names 6 Scientology corporate entities as defendants on 3 counts of negligence, including wrongful death. The filing does not specify how much money the family seeks. So, first of all, these people were not caretakers. She was being held against her will, being under 24-hour watch so that they could keep her from going anywhere near the church, which is why they did the 24-hour watch at her apartment. Not because it was more comfortable for her or anything else. That was solely for the church's benefit, to keep her away from the base. Because it, God forbid, she unalived herself in the Fort Harrison, right? So they sent Sea Org members to her apartment to be in her apartment that was not church property for weeks, months, however long they were there. And then one day, mysteriously, everybody's just gone. And she, what? No. They were, at that point, actively encouraging her to drop the body, as they say in Scientology. That's probably your best choice. You know, your body's so messed up and, you know, none of the treatments are working on you. You know, it's probably better if you just start over and, you know, get a new body and, you know, things will be better for you that time. But if you do it causatively, right? If you decide I'm dropping the body, then you're at cause over the decision. It's uptone then. Uptone. You're not being effect anymore. Don't be effect. Be cause. And then they left her alone. And then, uh-oh, hot dog. She did it. Ah! I knocked that over. That's my fault. Okay. I cannot explain to you. It took me a while, guys, to be able to do this live because of the nature of what happened with Whitney. When you are expressing to Scientology, to your Scientological overlords that everything is shitty and you feel the lowest you've ever felt in your whole life and you need some help. And their solution is either to berate you, to make you feel guilty for feeling that way, to tell you it's out ethics, it's, you know, all these things. And basically everything is you. You're wrong, 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 wrong. And to not get proper mental health help and have just one person look you in the eye and say, you know, it's okay. And thank you for, you know, being able to express what's going on with you. And we're going to help you through this. And don't worry, everything's going to be okay. We've got you and we're going to work with you through everything that you need to help you to start feeling better. But this is, this is a lot. It's a lot. And, I'm so sorry that this is happening because, no one should feel the way that you feel right now. And we're going to get you the help that you need. No one could do that. Why? Why couldn't they have that moment of empathy? Because empathy is bad. Empathy isn't even on the tone scale. Did you know that? Empathy is not an expression you should have as a Scientologist. Sympathy and pity are on there, and they're very downtone. Don't ever sympathize with somebody. Don't ever express understanding for someone's pain. That's gross. Fucking knock it off. Knock off your case on post. Knock off your HE&R. We've got things to do. We've got a planet to clear. Okay? We've got a planet to clear. So they allowed her to go to this Quackenstein, Dr. Minkoff, and completely throw her body out of whack when she didn't even have cancer. And dual treatment for Lyme's disease, which she probably didn't have either. And then shock, she couldn't take it anymore. And so she exited, stage left forever. This reminds me of Stacey Moxon. Stacey Moxon was a young, beautiful, smart, kind, funny SEERG member at the INT base who wanted to see her husband, different organization in, the regular area, not at the secret gold base in Hemet. And she was lonely. She couldn't see her family. She couldn't see her husband. And all of her petitions, her completed staff work, or CSWs, kept getting denied. She even offered to get demoted to a lower org so that she could be with him. She was told no. So she went into an electrical room and unalived herself. She left a note. She told everybody why she did it. Do you know what they told everybody else, including her father, who's still an active lawyer for the Church of Scientology? She saw a squirrel and she was chasing the squirrel. And she accidentally, while in this electrical room, touched, live high voltage circuits by accident. And oopsie-doodles, her death was an accident. She hung herself in there. That's not an accident. I wonder if Kendrick Moxon knows the real story of his daughter. I know it. Why do I know it? I didn't see her body, but there was about 11 people that were RPF'd because of that death. They were blamed for her death. They didn't see the signs. They didn't report, out points. Someone allowed her access to the room, and then they came up with this shore story. I know what really happened because I sat next to these people while they were doing confessionals, relaying this incident over and over and over and over because it caused them PTSD nightmares to see her dead face over and over and over. But that person who found her, who had nothing to do with her death, who was experiencing and probably still does experience PTSD from it, was the who. P.S. One of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. Okay, so that is just insanity. Insanity. But they told Kendrick Moxon the story. Everyone repeats the story in the same way that everybody repeated the story about Marie Bilheimer's husband, who hung himself in what is now the test center when it was under construction. That he blew. Nobody knew where he was. Because they will do anything to cover up people unaliving themselves. Because Scientology has to work. It is the most powerful, the most beautiful, the best, the smartest, the only way out of this universe and to salvation. So anytime somebody doesn't make it on that path because they are the dead, then it's always their fault and there's some other reason why they didn't make it. Okay. So, yeah. Doug is another situation. That was natural causes in that it was a massive coronary. You know, and I'm RIP to Doug. I'm sorry that he passed so young. My father died in essentially the same way. You know, at 45. So Doug was very young. Too young to pass like that. Right. But that wasn't something that was nefarious or, you know, conspiracy theory. He, as we all witnessed in his streams, smoked a lot and drank a lot of coffee and everything else, just like my father, and passed, unfortunately, in the same way. That is, you know, that can be the effect of that. Not everybody, you know, I don't need to lecture everybody on cigarette health, but if you do smoke, please stop. I mean, my dad died with a cigarette in his hand. So. Yeah, I understand, but there really is no conspiracy theory around it. You know, you can go look for his autopsy report and things like that. It's not, I just want to nip this in the bud. There is no like Scientological conspiracy. He wasn't, you know, murdered. It was just a heart attack, and he was not healthy. So he looked like my father right before he passed of a massive coronary. And that look is not a good look because the blood isn't circulating properly and things like that. So I'm very sorry that Doug has passed. He was a wonderful voice in our community. And, you know, he is missed every day, I'm sure. So guys, here, I want to wrap this up with a little bow here. I'm going to go back up here and see if there's any questions that I missed here real quick. And then, you know, because this is so serious, I'm going to be keeping my eye on this lawsuit because I want them to win bajillion dollars and also pull out all the receipts, you know, against the church, because we need that. And Dr. Minkoff, like this is a threefer. Catherine Churchill, thanks for being a member. And thank you. If you guys have not seen the wonderful video that Kelly Copter put out yesterday, it was an interview that she and I did. Please go give that a love. And yes, I jumped on with Rabbit yesterday. That was super fun. I always love chatting with Rabbit. She's amazing. She's amazing. Yeah, me too, Ann. I hope her estate gets millions from this damn cult and get this fake doctor's medical license revoked forever at worst, if not arrested at best. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Lori, as someone who suffers from brain injury, illness, I can't even imagine how much torment she was in to unalive herself. Yeah. It was a lot, obviously. I mean, and she was expressing that. You know, me too. Anita GC, thanks for being a member. I honestly don't know how this is legal to own most of a town in 2024. I don't either. Yeah. Guys, if you are not a member and you want to become one, here's a link for that. That would be amazing. I would love it, but it's not a demand because this is not a cult. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see here. I'm going down through. Okay, Monica. I don't think Whitney was involved in any of the purchases. My opinion, one major person was the interim mayor's son, but that is a very interesting theory. Yeah, I'm still noodling it. I would love to get my hands I don't know how to obtain those on the real estate records, on the purchase records for all these things, and see who the agents are. It's not necessarily suspicious, Anne. So it says, Anne says, I know she was successful, but I still want to know how in the hell she could afford a bridge to total chaos. Secondly, isn't it suspicious that she did her whole bridge that fast for her age? Not necessarily. If you have the money, you're just going to fly up the bridge, especially at Flag, where they were bragging that they were like getting people through the lower part of the bridge, the grades 0 to 4 in like 3 weeks. So if you have the money to just sit in session, yeah, you can go from 0 to clear in 5 weeks at one point. That they were saying that. So not a shock. Not a shock. I mean, yeah. I brought this up, but I'm going to bring it up again. Last year, my sister was referred to Dr. Minkoff by a dentist, and she, along with everyone in that natural office, was diagnosed with Lyme's disease. That's insane. That's just their pocket diagnosis, because how much are they charging for these ozone treatments, guys? Like, that's what I want to know. I'm sure it's probably tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. And yes, if you guys want to buy some swag, some merch, some hats, some shirts, some sweatshirts, go for it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. That's good for me. It's good for the algorithm. What's good for the algorithm is good for me. Not mean, me. Let's see here. I'm scrolling. Yeah, this is true, Julie. With lupus, your blood work can be negative, but you can still have it. I don't think infectious diseases work that way. Correct. Oh, man. Oh, Catherine, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's awful. I have Lyme, tick and all, got it in 98. I would never see a Scientology doc for it. It is wicked disease and is constantly changing. It'll probably kill me. I hope it doesn't kill you. I hope that there's some sort of treatment or something for the things you're experiencing. That's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, Farrell, Cheryl. Thanks for being a member. This is also terribly sad. My cousin and aunt had cancer and kept going for ozone therapy. They are dead now. Yeah. Because it doesn't, I don't know what it does, but it doesn't treat that. An old timer told me if finding a tick to go after killing and removing and to place in freezer bag with date, location, and bite info to place in the freezer. Yeah, that would help. You know. Yeah. Julie, again, I can't believe he's doing this to people. If you have Lyme disease, wouldn't it be malpractice not to give the necessary antibiotics? I would think so. Again, I'm not a lawyer, guys, but that, you know, would make sense to me. Yeah. And you'd think that he would go with a real oncologist for oncology treatment. He's not an oncologist, guys. He's an infectious disease expert. Those are not the same thing. Cancer is not an infectious disease. It's like, I can't, you know, you can't give cancer out to people around you like Oprah. Let's see here. Lovey cats. Look up ozone therapy. I went to Wikipedia. FDA prohibits it. Yeah. I was diagnosed with diabetes last year, and I've been working my butt off to avoid insulin because it sucked. Yeah. It's harsh. It's not a nothing thing, guys, but if you do need it, it's life-saving, right? But if it doesn't work for you in your treatment, Anita, like you gotta figure that out. Everybody's body is gonna react differently, you know. Question. Do you happen to know where he studied? I don't. Oh. Gotta wonder how many files have already been shredded. Thank you, cute Steffi. Thanks for being a member. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they shredded her files quick with the quickness. It was a quackery daiquiri. Yeah. Comment, just finished watching your interview with Kelly Copter and just wanted to say how proud I am of you for overcoming your false fear of WOG therapy and putting your own mental health first. Thank you, Bo Beats, No Sheep. Thank you for that. Yeah. Therapies. Actually, guys, right before I started this live, I was in therapy with my amazing therapist because I go once a week on Tuesdays. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing to be able to really get help that helped, you know, to really get help that helped is life-saving. Yes, this dangerous cult is a slow burn. The frog in the water thing. By the time you need help, it's too late and they discard your ass. It's disgusting. Yes. Yes. Mexican long hair. Thank you for being here in the chat, my friend. Question. How do you think Scientology ends? How do I think it ends? Well, the protests are making a huge dent. That's number one. I think it ends in a massive corruption RICO case for money. I think money is going to end them. Their money is going to end them. The abuse, the systemic child elder abuse is not going to end them because it never has. How many survivors have come out and told their stories? Leah's whole show was filled with survivor stories. Going Clear highlighted some of that. They're still there. So it will be money. It will be money that takes them down. In the same way, Warren Jeffs finally got arrested, not for all of the horrific sex crimes that he committed. What did he get arrested for, guys? A broken taillight. That's how he got caught. A broken taillight. So yeah. That's how it ends. The money. Somebody starts getting interested in their money. And the government gets pissed enough that they're not getting their slice of that pie. And they take them down. Because the human rights abuses, that's not doing it. Nobody cares. Child abuse, no one cares. Child trafficking, no one cares. You know, human trafficking, who cares? International human trafficking, so what? Covering up for grape, SA, pedophilia. It's a religion. But money, real estate scams. Now we're in the juice that greases the government's wheels. They want that money. Because let's face it, if they cared about kids, if they cared about the elderly, if they cared about human rights violations, they would have been shut down in the Fakakta 70s after the Snow White raid and all those people went to jail. They wouldn't have existed. I would have never grown up in it. They don't care. So we got to keep talking about their money. We got to keep putting stories out about their money, you know, because that's what's going to take them down. All right, guys, I'm scrolling. Question. How can he diagnose someone with Lyme disease without knowing about a tick bite and a blood test? Pamela, you've got a great question here. And thank you for being a member. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently everybody just has Lyme disease when they go there. Question. Infection disease would also treat HIV. How does Scientology feel about HIV treatment? Pinche Becky, they don't treat HIV because the gay is not allowed there. So if you have HIV, even if you got it from a straight encounter because somebody else got it somewhere else, they wouldn't believe that you weren't gay. And they would kick you out. They would kick you out. How can a Scientologist get Lyme disease? They're not even by the grass or by the trees. Or what would ticks prey on Scientologists? Maybe they just keep them in a jar in Minkoff's office. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that comment's about, but it was off topic. So I'm not going to bring it up, Wendy, but thank you. Yeah, Warren Jeffs was living it up. That's, you know. Yes, it can. This is also part of the solution. Ends when people listen to Fat Grammy and keep flooding the correct government officials and get the tax exempt status taken away and get the good protesters out in the right places, Big Blue, etc. Yeah. Well, first of all, I think all the places are the right places. Everybody needs to be protesting at every organization, because if you just protest in Los Angeles, then it loses its efficacy, because people in the smaller towns that do have Scientology presence there, Narconon, Crimenon, Able, Wise, etc., all of the places need to be protested, because all of it needs to be shut down. There cannot be one shred of Scientology left in any corner of the earth once we get them shut down, because they will just spring back up again. Yeah. It's like a, what's that? That one demon called, it's Trash Day, guys, outside the garage, where you cut off one head and another one appears. I can't remember. Anyway, do you think there are people who rise to leadership when Miscavige dies? Oh, 100%. Why do you think he keeps Shelly across the country from him? Because he doesn't want her to like take his place. People would follow her. There'd be like 20 people lined up to fucking take his place. That's not a problem. All right, guys. It's a Hydra. I thought it was a Hydra, but I couldn't remember. Thank you, Farb, Topchin, and Aubrey, and everybody else who threw, Hydra out there. Yeah. Yep. That's what Scientology is. It's kind of a Hydra. So you really gotta murder the whole thing. You just take one head off, and another one will pop up. All right, y'all. Please please subscribe, leave a comment in the after this is up, because all of it helps. All of it makes it a great day, as Aaron says, to not be in a cult. All right. And I will catch you guys on the flippity dippity.